the shave we'll be doing today is a new one in a few respects. I am trying the Gillette Silver Blue Stainless in a different razor than I have before, Rockwell S6, and tighten that up, check the alignment, and I will be using it with a setting of, let's see here, 4. Aggression setting of 4. I went up to 5 the last time I used this razor, and I felt maybe it was about that's the upper threshold. So I think I'm going to slowly start backing it down until I find where the comfort threshold starts. It was a great blade the first time I used it, which was the last time I used it. It was very sharp. I was very happy with it. The bowl is one I've tried once or twice before. It's a Walmart Salsa bowl with grooves cut in it with a Dremel tool. It's what I'm evaluating about it right now is it too small? Is it too small for me? Do I need to hunt for one that's maybe 1 inch wider in diameter? The other tools of the trade are a Whip Dog 24mm Silvertip Badger brush that I've had soaking. Holds a lot of water, so I'll be slinging most of that out when we start to lather up. And then a new to me shaving soap, Marlborough from Dr. Harris. Great little wooden, it costs a little bit more when you buy the wooden tub, but the here's the bottom half. But the pucks, once you do the refills, are pretty inexpensive, and so this was recommended highly across different forums. So I got a feeling it's going to be a really good buy over the years to just replace it with those good pucks. So really happy about that. On the bottom here, yeah, try again. Is that right? I had it right the first time, sorry. Those are the refills that you can order at the time of that label's printing, which was recently. Brand new Marlborough scented puck. Just a nice, manly, cologne type, musky, a little bit of woodsy, I would guess, maybe a little tobacco. Does not describe the fragrance on the lid nor on the bottom. Now, one thing that was complained about with the with this is that when it arrived, there's this band behind the main sticker. It extends this way, and then it goes to the side of the container to obviously to just hold, and there's one on the other side as well, to hold the lid, because it doesn't screw on. It just rests on there. It's mahogany style, mahogany look, mahogany effect. It's been painted in, stained in that way. It's not actual mahogany. I'm sure it's their point, but I like the bowl. I think it's real cool. And a lot of people complained that sticky residue wouldn't come off, and I just didn't really have a problem with that at all. It was I just rubbed on it. You know, I was able to scrape at it with my fingernail without too much ado. And then there was a little bit of adhesive left, and it arrived on a warm day, so maybe that helped. So maybe get a hairdryer on it if yours is being stubborn. And once the label was off and there was a little bit of adhesive there, I just rubbed back and forth, and it kind of spread it around and put it in rolls, and I was able to take it off no problem. So now if they're talking about taking off the center label, I haven't done that yet, so I don't know if that's the subject matter. I have let it bloom a little bit, and it's been interesting. It's really soaking up that water. Have water on it, and then I'll look at it, and then it's been absorbed. Pretty interesting. Since it's since it's not a concave puck, not a whole lot of water would stand on it at the time. I didn't feel like filling up the whole, let's see, there's a little gap around it, but I would have had to fill up everything. I didn't really feel like doing that. Maybe to protect the wood, I don't know. All right, and then we are ready to go. I'm going to sling this guy out. As you can see, he's got a lot of water in him. He holds a good bit. So give him a good sling. Now there he is. He's maybe 15 uses, something like that. All right. This is my first Dr. Harris product. Highly rated online, so I'm confident it's going to be great. One of those things where you know if it's not great, then it's not the product's fault, but it's your fault for having a kind of a bad technique or something. Yeah. Might add just a little bit more water to my brush. Just a few drops. Maybe make it pick up the soap a little more. Now, because I've got kind of a dome, I'll do it on one side and then I'll rotate like that to try to get all the tips involved. Since I don't know what's, I assume that this soap is good with, I'm going to try a little twist. I don't know if that's good or not, recommended or not, but I'm using hard water, so we'll see how well it lathers with hard water. I do have some distilled under the cabinet, but I figured I'd try hard first. Okay, I'm confident that we've got enough. Show you that a little bit better. I'm confident that we've got enough soap off of this guy. Now, one nice thing about kind of dry lathering or dry loading of the brush is that you don't have your bowl just dripping with stuff you have to clean up. I put just a little bit of water in my bowl here, and I'll start. So what I've got here is soap on the tips, and then I've got water inside the bristles. So let's see. Once you got to wait until everything equalizes before you start adding water. I can feel that this guy needs more water. So, yeah, kind of like a classic man's cologne. I got a little more. A few more drops of water. Of course, once you learn the soap, then sometimes it's easier to start out with the right amount of water from the beginning. Yeah, it's starting to come up now as I'm just slowly adding more water. But I had no idea. Got the drip going down below in the sink. Had no idea at first. So that's what we've got already. It's not quite enough for me to shave with. Plus, I mean, you want to get that integrated and all whipped up and Oh yeah, there we go. Put my thumb on the outside edge there, and it multiplies the security of my handhold a great deal. Yeah, it's getting there. How does the, okay, now I'm able to scoop out some nice looking lather, but look at my brush. It still needs to get the lather in itself and to fill up with the lather. So I think it's best if we don't quit yet. Now I have trouble getting those problem neck hairs unless I have some super sharp blades like Personas or Feathers, Treats. Oh, see, the sound changed. Did you notice that? Within the last 3 seconds, it's changed from a scrubby sound to more of a, look at that. There we go. It changed from a scritchy, scrubby sound to just a suds being moved around sound, and I think that's we're starting to see the brush get loaded up with all that lather. I still see, look at that little hollow spot right there. So I think we've got room, and very soon I'm guessing that this thing's gonna just, the water and the lather will just kind of explode, and in terms of quantity. Yeah, look at that. Nice smell to it. Yeah, I think maybe a little of the tobacco, not a ashtray tobacco, but maybe I don't know, maybe a tobacco flower, but it's a light, and it's been combined with maybe some musk or something. But it's very light. It's I think more than the tobacco smell is that a light cologne, a manly cologne smell. So interesting. See, look at that. Now this may be due to the type of bowl I'm using. Just gonna add a little bit more water. So in the future, with this particular soap, maybe I can just know that I do not have to shake out that brush quite as much. Oh, look at those peaks. This is one I'm definitely going to have to try with distilled water and see what it turns into. Okay, well, large quantities. I heard a video guy mention, fellow YouTuber mention a tall lather. I assume he was talking about the peaks. Hadn't heard that mentioned before. Maybe the peak you just saw is an example of that. Now, it's not a thick lather, but I bet it's a good lather. I think that might be one of the reasons to use a smaller brush, because if you use a larger brush like this 24, you may run into times when you have to always use a certain amount of soap because you need to saturate the brush. Otherwise it'll just vacuum it all up, you know. And so a smaller brush may mean that you can have the same identical lather, but just we're using less soap because there's less of a brush. Look at that. Don't know if that's good or bad. I assume it's good. You know what? You get tons of good looking, good smelling lather here. I am just curious. This just feels like I can add just a touch more water, and I added just a little bit right there. That's good. I had the drip going on my sink. I might just, maybe if that water will activate, just a little bit more soap. Then we can. Now I am really surprised by how, you know, I'm stirring in this thing, but the soap is staying in the bowl. I'm not having to do very much. Oh yeah, see, look at it. It just exploded there. Look at that, and there's just tons still left in the bowl. Maybe the small size is the way to go, because I'm cranking on it. And it's not flowing out, because I guess maybe my brush is coming by and kind of grabbing it and bringing it back in. You live and you learn. I just would always have assumed that this would have been too small. All right, this is just, see if I can get it all on one. And there's still tons left in there. And I didn't really load. Nice smell. Like I said, more cologne than tobacco, like smoke or anything. That's nice. All right, so this will sit and be ready for me when I need it. Now, in terms of I was reading on one of the forums, and it talked about how, I'm just going to wet my face. It talked about how, in terms of some of the closeness that you might get with getting those trouble spots, and getting a good shave, a really good shave, sometimes it's more the soap than it is the razor or the blade, is what the poster was saying. And that seems, you know, because if you can get the right, you know, cushion or glide or protection, then maybe that's super important. I don't know enough about that to speak about it, but I wanted to mention it because I guess if I have trouble spots right here that keep having, that keep being evasive, then maybe I need to learn how to tweak my lathers. Oh, now this is a very dry lather. That's interesting. I wonder if I need to add more water and keep going on it, you know? That is super dry. That's really dry. I am going to do that. I don't know if I mixed it up too thin, if I didn't load my brush long enough, if it doesn't respond well to hard water, but let's add just add some water in here and just keep going. I may put my brush back in the soap, because it does look a little on the light side. I usually like my lather on the thick side. It's very pretty with all of the tricks it's doing for me. You know what I may do? I may kind of take off some of this and then just go right back to the puck here. Don't know if it's going to help. I don't know if it's going to incorporate into my existing lather or not. Maybe I think this is just a tricky lather. I mean a tricky soap. Maybe I need to whip out my boar brush for this one. We'll see. For those of you who have used Dr. Harris's before with nice big thick Badger brushes, I would appreciate any input you may have. Yeah, really thin on my face. It was really pretty looking in the bowl. You know, I think what I'm seeing is if the soap looks like it's about to go overboard, if I switch directions, because it's a small bowl, it just kind of sucks it back in. Okay. I mean, this bowl is practically full of lather. It is sounding a little bit more rich, a bit thicker. Don't think I'm going to add more water to it. So, mental note, really get on the Dr. Harris's cream. Make sure you load enough in your brush. Yeah, this feels heavier, thicker. We have tons. Okay. So I'm gonna get my face wet again. See what happens. That's much better. Much more what I'm kind of used to generating with other soaps. We'll do a little scrubbing. I didn't do any kind of pre-shave. Maybe that's something that I need to work on. I mean, I don't do a pre-shave oil. I do plan to do it in the future, but I'm testing things. And my tests started out without pre-shave oil, and so I don't want to bring that in, mess up all my variables, mess up all my benchmarks. Insert statistical word here. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's really good that I was able to revive this lather by adding some more soap to the brush tips and then just working it more and adding some more water. Good to know. Tried it once before with maybe a chiseled face soap, and I don't think I was able to. Oh, you know what? I had a smoother bowl, and so I think this ridged bowl really helped me to take the second wave of soap that had been put on the brush and to mix and to activate it. I think ridges really help me to do that. All right. Down here, my trouble spots. I am gonna all right. The razor, Gillette, silver blue, at a setting of 4. The only other time I have used this blade was in my Fat Boy. My Fat Boy razor, which I really enjoyed. I got a I got a sampler in the mail of a few different razor blades, a couple that I haven't tried out yet. And a couple of samples of soap. And I just wished that there were more than one shave per day. Not really smelling the fragrance. It's possible I mixed it up too weak. This may be one of those thirsty soaps that just requires a lot of water. So that's the first pass. I'm going to do a rinse. And now the second pass. We'll do a cross grain pass. I prefer, my skin would rather I just stick with 2 cross grain passes instead of having an against the grain pass in there anywhere. We'll definitely spend more time with the brush on the puck, gathering soap next time. See if I can get a little thicker lather. I mean, this is very serviceable. Now, in terms of being able to get that close shave and the lather making a difference, if you know what kind of lather is the answer to that question, I'd love to hear. Is it a thinner, wetter lather? Is that the key? Or have it thick? If you know, I'd appreciate sticking a comment in there, because I haven't figured it out. I'm too new to this to know that yet. All right, second pass. Cross grain. Not feeling a lot of slickness. In the razor. But I kind of do feel a little bit on the skin. This was a bleeder yesterday. Glad the aggression setting is not so much that it made him start again today. Oh yeah, let's get this little spot over here. Now one thing I wanted to do last time, is reduce the aggression setting. Last time I kept it at a fairly aggressive rate because I wanted to, the idea was if you do just one touch-up run over a trouble area and it's aggressive but it cuts well and cuts closely, then that's only one run you have to do instead of maybe 2 or 3 at a milder setting. So and so I did that last time, and I did end up with a very close shave that I was happy with, but I ended up with some irritation. Now it didn't last very long, and so it's probably going to be acceptable, but I wanted to try now. In a second I will switch this to the number 2, which is on the flip side of the number 4 here, and then that's how I'll do my third run. My third pass on my neck area. My cheeks are fine with the, matter of fact, I probably don't even need to do a third pass on my cheeks. No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse. I have rinsed. Now I'm putting on Santa's beard. I can still smell it when I really get my nose up into it. But if I keep it down away from my nose, then I'm not really smelling it too much. Probably just gotten used to it, you know. Okay. So now I will, and here you see my soapy hands, having no grip problems at all on this handle. Grab this carefully, otherwise these will get cut. Pull away the blade in the top part of the head, flip it over, and now, handling it carefully, we can see that it's at the number 2 setting. Check for properly aligned blades. Yep. All right. We'll see how many times it, oh, dang it, I should have taken a look at that before. Oh well. Cross grain, but from the other direction. Definitely more mild. And it feels fine as long as I don't cross, as long as I don't go against the grain. This is a cross grain. For me, my beard comes down and goes this way, so it's across the grain. And then, gotta be careful here. Down here, this is across the grain. Go a little higher, it's still across the grain. But then here, I need to go straight up and straight up. And then here, I think the best way is to do this. Because right along the jawline, I just found out the other day, it comes this way, which is really just weird. I don't feel any irritation. Oh, you know what? I think yesterday the bleeder was right here on this bump. It wasn't down here. It was right here. So we didn't open that up either. Okay, let's look at those. Oh, that's nice. That is really nice. But you know what? I should have looked at that area before I started that third pass, just to see if it was already gone, because this blade seems to be at a sharpness level where that's entirely possible. And this razor is excellent. Adam's apple area. Oh, cut nicely. Oh, that's just really good. Okay. Gillette Silver Blue Stainless and a Rockwell 6S. Great combination. Just top combination for my particular skin type. And I've got a feeling those Gillette Silver Blues might be, I think they're adequate with feather for this in this scenario. I don't know that a feather blade, all other things being equal, would have done any better. And so if they're less expensive, then hey, there you go. Your skin, of course, may be different. Well, you know, probably is different. But I'm super happy with that. That's great. It had a good feel the whole time. And I'm sure that I could mix the lather a little better in the future. Remember to spend more time loading the brush, and then so that I can just make sure to have plenty of water in there, because I'm going to guess this Dr. Harris's is a thirsty soap, and I just didn't quite know that. So I'm going to rinse. Now that rinse went really well. A lot of times, you know, when you rinse, it almost acts like an alum block where it lets you know where you might have a little cut, and I got 0. So sharp and smooth. It looks like the Gillette Silver Blue is for my skin in this combination here. So very, very happy with that. Going backwards on my skin. That's up there. That's right at the top with the feather for me. So then, let's just see. Here's the. Oh man, that's a great smell. I almost wish it was more present on my face. So that's another reason to spend more time loading the brush, right? Get more of that soap in there, more of the fragrance going around you. So this was a lather whipped up by my plastic bowl that has the grooves cut into it. And I learned about the grinding and how if I would switch directions, then a lot of times I didn't have to try to keep it from falling out. Shoot, I've got so much lather, I've got enough for 3 more passes. And then finally, I don't guess I mentioned this, I'm going to get my witch hazel in aerosol form. Now this is Thayer's with aloe, unscented. Hold your breath when you do that. It kind of agitates my throat a little bit if I breathe it in. It may be fine, but since I haven't figured it out yet, if it is, I am not going to breathe it in a big way. All right, I'll let that sit for just a second. When I ordered some Sterling soaps, they sent me a little freebie of Autumn Glory, and I used it yesterday, and I thought it was okay. I don't think it's one that just jumps out at me as, hey, this is you know. But I figure, hey, let's do it again. Post-shave balm is what this is. Don't know what I just said a minute ago, sorry. Okay, so this is about the same quantity of Nivea that I usually use. Let's see if that's an adequate quantity. Well, yeah, no problem there. It's similar in texture to the Nivea. Probably could have used less, actually. Of course, usually when I use my Nivea, I haven't just sprayed on witch hazel. Lately, it's been either witch hazel or Nivea. That's an alright fragrance. It's okay. I probably wouldn't buy it outright. It's interesting. It's got some complexities to it. So, yeah, good job, Sterling, for developing that. And who knows, that might be something. It's almost got a sweetness to it, like a warm cookie, but it's not. I mean, there's no cookie that's flavored like that, but maybe there's a little vanilla in it. Not sure. So maybe that's what's making me think cookie. But then there's spice as well. Seems to me. Anyway, just trying that guy out since it was included. So excellent. Anyway, hopefully there's something in there to help you. Take care and have a good night.